Hey everyone, and welcome to F4 Obsessed, an OST bonus analysis. On our weekly show, we discuss F4 Thailand from a symbolic and meta perspective. But in this show, we are offering a mini analysis on each of the music videos. This week, we're diving into Best Life as well as Silhouette. I'm Ty, your host, and my co host is Marie Claire, who I call MC. Say hi, MC.
Hello.
Hello. We just want to remind you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, interact in however you can. Check out our weekly show also, where we discuss each episode in depth for hours, as well as our mid-season symbolism summary, where we cover all of the symbols and metaphors and themes we've seen so far in the show. The reason why we're covering both Best Life and Silhouette in this video is because we're on the last week of the show, and we wanted to go ahead and hit this one out of the park and just get it all done, because we have plans for covering stuff after the show. I have video analysis stuff I want to do. I know we have some after show stuff we want to do. But we really just want to kind of ride the wave on the last week and just really push this through. So we don't mean to say that these two videos don't deserve their own analyses. They absolutely do, but we're just going to put them into one video just to make it a little easier for the last week. So
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and dig into Best Life, which is Nani's or MJ's song, because it does take place in the F4 universe. So
It does. Yeah. So Best Life came out right as episode 11 came out, and it was used in episode 11. And where I remember it the strongest is Gowan and Hanning are driving, and he like speeds up, and then you hear Best Life play really, really loud. Yeah.
Like on the car radio.
Yeah. It like turns up with the speed. Like, I guess expensive cars do that. They actually do that. Like when you speed up. Yeah.
They do. I did discover that when my mom had like an Audi, and her car did that when I was in high school. So, and they get louder as you like speed up, and it's so bizarre. But yeah. That's like a good moment for the song, because it's really giving a different color to the show, because we've had all these songs, all of these OSTs so far have been about kind of the feelings of the main characters, and even Ren's was very emotional, and then we get Best Life.
Yeah, which I mean, one could argue is about the feelings of the character.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. One note from our last video, I actually updated the OST timeline to have In the Wind from the first episode, because I heard it. You can hear the full play of it with him singing in the first episode.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought so. I was like, I feel like there was a lot, because at least the notes were in there, but he's actually singing in it.
It's during the sprinkler scene.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, and you can actually hear it when he rescue, like the chords. You can hear it when he rescues her the first time on the roof. But no, it does a full play, so I updated this. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm probably wrong about the other ones too, but You Mean the World, I'm pretty sure that was the first time we heard it. We might have heard like some of the theme of the score put in, because Patha was doing that a fair amount. But
yeah, definitely.
I mean, they've done a really good job. And the last, so 10, 11, 12, we had a music video release with each of those, which we'll get into in Silhouette as well.
Yes.
It was very back to back to back.
It was. Yeah, it was a lot. We weren't used to it. And then suddenly it was like, oh, here's an OST every week.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's dive into the lyrics.
Yeah. So the purple. What is the purple, do you ask? Well, not one of Nani's colors is purple, or sorry, MJ's colors is purple, so I colored it in purple, but it's actually when he speaks in English, because I thought that was really fascinating how it works grammatically, I guess.
Yeah.
And like the main chorus, living in the best life, raise your glass up to the sky, living in the best life, is all in English.
Yeah. I mean, he has like probably more English lyrics than the other ones for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of English interwoven into like the main ones, like the Who Am I and the Shooting Star. But this one is a lot more fun and a lot more simple, and it kind of just it repeats a lot. So in the English specifically. So
yeah. And it'll be like a Thai like lyric all the way to the end, and then just one word, like perfect. And it's very recognizable. Same with fancy too. That's also at the end of sentences. But I think that let it be fun in a fancy way is just like an interpretation of how the Thai and the English work together, but the fancy is actually at the end of the line. So
it always sounds so satisfying, like when he says perfect or fancy, like it always sounds nice, which I like a lot, because they definitely wrote it to be a very poppy on the radio type of song, so it sounds good to English speakers for sure.
It's like catnip to English speaker brains to be like, I can understand part of this. It's like why K-pop artists put English in their songs.
For sure. It follows a very similar pattern of like what like Kanglish would be.
Yeah.
Like Korean English type of music would be. So it's funny that they're doing a very similar thing, which it makes sense because GMM TV has been trying to replicate the Korean the wave, the Hallyu wave, or whatever you call it, the success of that. They're trying to do something very similar with their idols, with their actors, their singers, and all of that,
and with like Thailand media.
In general, totally. So
do you have any thoughts about the lyrics?
The one line that I think is really important is where is it?
Is it the sun still rising, the moon still shining?
Actually, no, that's not the one I was thinking of. But that is important, clearly, because we talk about that a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
There was something he says about like together as one. Does he not say it like that? Did I misinterpret? Did I read it incorrectly? Because I literally wrote down that he had said together as one.
And this might be like where I grabbed the lyrics from. So it might be like
it could be different translation
from the Thai, but
I think it is. I think that last
maybe it's
line,
less spent this time together is like together as one. Yeah.
I think in the YouTube subtitles it says together as one. Yeah. Which is very Three Musketeers type of line, and it just is very MJ. It's very, his archetype that we've been talking about on our regular show. So it's very him.
Yeah, and one major theme of all the lyrics, except for him talking about champagne and drinking champagne, which is not necessarily accessible to everybody, is about being down to earth and being in the moment. That's also like a major theme. Don't be like fake. But yeah, back to the sun still rising, the moon still shining. Those are in English, so they're exactly as interpreted. And like that's very much like Tom is the sun, he's the moon, right?
Right. It's MJ like is the moon. Yep.
Yeah. And MJ is usually like the last one, quote unquote. Like he's the last through the door. He's kind of like the guard. He's always like protecting their backs. And so it's kind of interesting that they did like sun, moon as like start, end, and then like we'll all just keep on working, which is like grinding, right?
Yeah. Well, and he's the one that works. I also picked up on that, the grinding thing. Like he's the main one. He's the one that works the most out of the F4 for the F4. So of course he would say that.
I mean, you think back to Who Am I and the imagery of him being covered in paperwork and like pictures and like that's very telling of like how he feels.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the grunt, right? Like he goes and does all this stuff.
Yeah, for everyone else or on behalf
of
everyone else. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the imagery of this. Yeah, so this music video was shot in a really cool location.
Yeah, it's a hotel called Hotel Josh in Bangkok, and it has really cool vibes. The rooms themselves look really nice, and it has several like restaurants slash like little boutique places to eat within it. And it's just very famously known for having the pool that also has this outside place with the Marigold restaurant as the I guess sign canopy over the door entrance to the restaurant. The restaurant, the Marigold restaurant, no longer exists.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist in its like form. That they kept the like canopy, but it's no longer that restaurant. It's actually Cafe Josh, which is like Josh Cafe, it's like the coffee place that slash breakfast place. Like you can go and get premier roasted food, like drinks and espressos and things like that.
Yeah, but it used to be like a nice restaurant. Sit down restaurant. Yeah.
And I think they use like multiple locations here, but I was only able to figure out 2 of them. And so in addition to like where he starts out and he's like on the bar sitting, that's actually the key, room 72. That's the name of like the bar that's inside of Hotel Josh.
Oh, cool. Yeah, totally.
And actually from the website, it says, Mr. Josh once said, once you take a step out of your comfort zone, it's time to take a new journey of your life. So he decided to take a journey to explore the world. Mr. Josh is the one who loves to try and taste every drop of a cocktail in the bars of each country. He got back to Hotel Josh or Josh Hotel and locked himself inside of his room. One day he came out and said, "It's time to unlock the door." We were waiting to unlock the door and taste the flavor of Mr. Josh's journey at the key, room number 72.
That's so MJ.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is really weird. I thought this was really weird. Like, I also independently from MC's research looked up the hotel and I was like, this is odd. Like, this is very specific. And one of the things that I kind of picked up on was the very Wes Anderson vibes of the hotel. It's very simplistic, but it's also Wes Anderson is known for doing things in frames that are equal, like balanced. So the frame is like it looks the same on a person is put in the very middle of the frame and then either side is balanced in that frame.
There's a lot of mirroring in the hotel.
Right, mirroring.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, and that is a part of the technique of the shot is mirroring. So we know that's like a big thing in symbolically in the show. So, but the vibes, the vibes are also very similar to the "You Mean the World" music video, which was shot at a different location. but the other location was, and you know, I say Wes Anderson because, you know, we're talking about a film great, like somebody who is, you know, a very, very well-known director, filmmaker. And the You Mean the World music video was shot at a movie theater, or like slash bar slash event venue. And that was all centered around, you know, you know, filmmakers in general and indie films and French films. So it just feels very purposeful to me to have this kind of be similar in location and similar in vibes.
There's actually a cinema bar where they watch movies, and there's like
in the hotel.
Yeah,
Of course there is.
There's another one. Yeah.
So there is.
I do completely agree that this vibe and this look of this hotel is very purposeful to that feeling, right? Like, you could just apply a filter to this and film like a film noir. It's really interesting.
It's funny because, like, you know, they do the thing with MJ and the lights and all of that. Like, we'll talk about that when we get to it, but they're making it, they're like giving the feeling of F4 in this location. But if you strip that,
he's all alone.
Yeah, like but but also, like, the location itself doesn't scream F4. It screams like it's very indie, and it's very it's not this big budget project. It's not this really important place in Bangkok. You know, like when they first said, I'll kind of digress a little bit. Like when they first said they were going to do this like F4 Thailand, right?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, we're going to see like the biggest landmarks in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Because in the Japanese version and the Korean version, you know, we saw, you know, that the tower and the, like, we saw these things that like belong to these countries because they wanted to kind of put their mark on it. You know, like in the Chinese one, we saw like the skyline, and we don't get that in F4 Thailand. It's like they're trying to strip everything that you would see in a travel book or a tourist book, and they're just trying to give you like what where you would want to go.
Yeah, no sales, all vibes, right? Like, what are, like, based on the research I just did for this music video, I want to go and stay at this hotel.
That's what I said too.
It's exactly ridiculous. Like, if I go to Thailand, I'm like, I gotta go stay at Hotel Josh. It's so cool.
Literally, there are no other options. Like, if we go, we stay at Hotel Josh. We go to the bar from the other music video.
we go to the zoo, right? We go to the college that they filmed everything at. Like, this will be the weirdest tour, like the Goblin tour of Quebec City, which, like, where they go in the Goblin show.
The
Korean
Goblin tour.
Yeah, you can go on a Goblin tour of
I didn't
Quebec
know
City.
I want to do that.
Yeah, you get to go see all the doors and stuff.
That's amazing.
You can Google it. Go, if you happen to be in Quebec City, you can go.
Well, when I go, that's what I'm gonna do.
The reason to go to Quebec City, which there aren't many, so
good to know. But yeah, like this whole music video is just like solidifying my like theory about this show is this big project that's really just it's really just an indie type of thing. Like, it's not, they have a budget, but they're not trying to blow this up. It's not like, you know, it's not like in your face. It's just like utilizing like these really cool aesthetics that kind of come from this classy way of doing filmmaking. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it feels exactly how F4 should feel, which is rich without trying.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's
right.
A good point.
Whereas other versions have been rich, and it's like, obviously they're trying to be rich.
Yeah.
Right. They have the brands, and they have the cars, and they have the like houses, right?
It's
Especially,
trendy.
yeah, but it's like it's the vibes of being rich without actually like there's this guy on TikTok slash Instagram who's like
Mm-hmm.
the difference between being rich and really rich.
Oh, I've seen that before.
That
Yeah.
guy. And it's
Yeah.
like the really rich guy will be like, oh yeah, and I'll give you a job and a job for all your like family and like I'll whereas the other guy's like just complaining about everything. Right? But like the really rich guy is just like rich. Like it's just but they're effortlessly rich and it
Right.
feels like that.
Mm.
It doesn't feel faux rich. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's a genuineness to this is kind of I think what you're
Mm-hmm.
getting at too is like there's the trendy factor, right? Which is and this is kind of goes to like Tom's outfits and all of that, right?
Yep.
Like Tom dresses a certain way where everyone goes, wow, this is super tacky, but he pulls it off
Yeah.
because he just does, because he genuinely is that character who wears that style and people buy it. Like it's just we believe it.
Yeah.
And there's that kind of vibe that they're getting with this as well, which is that, hey, if you have a lot of money and you want to have a good time, you don't go and blow a bunch of it on the most expensive thing you can afford. You're going to find
You're
the
you're gonna look
trendy,
for vibes.
yeah,
Yeah.
vibes, the trendy places that are doing something a little different, like that sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I think it's so interesting. All right. So, oh, I wanted to talk about the marigold thing real quick though.
Oh, sure.
Like so the restaurant behind him is called Marigold, which we talked about is not there technically anymore. But I thought it was interesting because we talked about like how F4 is all about like flower symbolism. And so the fact that the name Marigold is in the background shouldn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, exactly.
So marigolds typically like symbolically are, positive emotion and positive energy, but they also have a darker meaning and that they symbolize jealousy, grief, despair, and mourning.
Oh,
So I wanted
the
to,
the chicken
yeah,
pot did not work out well for him.
yeah, I wanted to like that's to me like MJ has a darker side, like we all know that, like
Yeah.
especially dark side of the moon and all of that. So we don't want to just say this music video is all just good vibes, because at the end of the day, MJ has stuff in his backstory that's probably not going to be told fully in the show, and we just want to like kind of respect that because the character traditionally has that.
Yeah.
He has more layers than what is told in the full part of the story. Also, marigolds in Thai mean God's perfect light,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I found really interesting because he's the light of F4, essentially the one that guides them. And also marigolds are planted in Thailand to honor a previous king of theirs. I think it's like Rama the fifth or something like that. But they plant the marigolds in this big garden and
Mm-hmm.
in order to kind of honor that king that lived previously. So they're considered to be important. They're considered to be a part of kind of this royalty type of tradition and all of that. So yeah, it's all similar to the symbolism we've talked about prior. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. I just associate marigolds with planting them in my garden to keep the deers away.
I didn't know that. Didn't know they kept deers away.
They're
That's funny.
they have a smell to them that animals
Mm.
don't like.
Oh,
Yeah, and so if
interesting.
you plant them on the border of your garden, it'll keep your flowers safe. Especially your tulips, which bunnies like.
Oh, well, there you go. There's your symbolism of MJ that keeps
Keeps the flowers
like,
safe.
yeah, it keeps people safe. Yeah, exactly. His people
Yeah.
safe. His people safe.
It's a
That's
weird
cool.
weird thing, but
That's
yes,
really weird. Yeah.
marigolds are used to protect your flowers in your garden.
What is this show?
What is this show?
What is the show? Oh my God. And we also, so we get the next kind of scene where like MJ is on the bar and doing his thing, and the lights are all changing colors.
Yeah.
And that's something we've actually kind of seen in the show in a way, because MJ he has got like all the lights in his room, like when they're like in his room where they play like darts, and they have the goth game, like all these are lights that are happening in the background, so that's all very colorful. And then the club like atmosphere that he is always around or always encouraging.
Which, I mean, the place, like the pink space is like a breakfast bar, or like part of the hotel where they like pick up bagels, like it's order and pick up and there's bagels. Like it's interesting. Like
it's cute.
Yeah.
Again, it's very trendy for those types of boutique hotels.
Yeah.
And I kind of wrote here that he's actually behind the counter in a lot of these shots.
Yeah.
Because he's always serving people.
Yeah.
MJ, my best boy, always serving everyone.
Yeah.
Doing what he can. Yeah, then we get the shot back at the pool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of zoom in, zoom outs.
Yeah.
At the pool, and then it flashes between F4 doing things together, like figuring out problems, basically, which is really interesting, right? It started out with him more and F4 like partying, and now it's like them like figuring out problems, like the Goya problem, like the pool problem where they're trying to figure out Ren.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like this kind of combination of him being there when they're like, when they're like trying to figure things out, they're trying to resolve things.
Yeah.
Because it's really just showing us that he's like an essential part of the group.
Yeah. So. And then we get introduced to him being in the corner of the green room with the flowers along the edges.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the floor of this green room with flowers along the edges. What's going on with that?
I literally woke up in the middle of the night last night. It's like thinking about this room and thinking about the flowers, and I was like, why are they, like last night when I was watching the video taking notes, I was like, why are these flowers and these vases, what are they? They have no symbolic meaning. I don't understand. And I woke up at 2 a.m. I'm not kidding. And I rolled over and I grabbed my phone and I typed in like dried flowers equals memories collected. And I put my phone down and I went back to sleep. It was so funny because like it does have like meaning, and that we know flowers are important, and we know that the show is specifically using flowers in their planted state, like in the ground, is very different from flowers that are
like in people's spaces, like Lita's space filled with all of those flower vases and all those fresh flowers, and these ones are dried along the green wall.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a difference in all of that, because with Lita it was these flowers are dying, they're not planted, they're not growing, right? Because they're in a vase, they're dying, they're not in soil. So we know that was different symbology. So this is even more different. But it's also special because people take flowers and they put them into like pressing your flowers between like books and pages and that sort of thing. That's a memory saver. That's like,
or drying your wedding bouquet like I have done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Saving that, it's more precious. It's about keeping these things nearby, but also understanding that they've come and gone. So it's like a respect for your memories.
Exactly.
And
then we get we get them in Tom's apartment. We get Lita and them. We get more of like sort of like MJ just witnessing stuff. It's really interesting, like how they kind of are framing different things. And then we get a costume change of like him by the Marigold restaurant, right? And by the pool. And he's wearing a different shirt.
Yeah.
By the pool.
Yeah, he is. Is that when he's laying down?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Costume change, important.
What do you think it means?
Well, it's a really interesting like shirt. It looks like a bunch of eyes. It's purple eyes on top of like yellow.
I'm always about that purple, man. Whenever that purple comes up, I'm like, my girl Hana got sent away from the show. That's a soulmate. Gosh darn it. But that's so interesting.
And then the last one is sort of like celebration moments. So it's the graduation speech, and also he switches to a different room, sort of. He's wearing still the same sweater he was wearing on the outside and in the green room, but he's standing and there's different lights that are flashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the orange and blue stuff. Yeah, so the lyrics here do say together as one, and it is weird. It's like I do wonder about that, if a Thai speaker could tell us exactly like what they think he's saying there, because the translation on the YouTube is
now together as one. Yeah, let's spend the night now
one.
together as one.
Yeah. So, and that's just a very like he sees them as a unit.
Yeah, including Haning, Lita,
yeah,
Goya, like they're all, everybody is part of this like best life. I do have one question. Like BL has a different meaning in specifically like dramas that are typically on GMMT. Is this like an homage to boy love?
Oh, BL best life boys love. Oh, okay. I did not think of that at all.
I mean, it's just really interesting because it's like it's not romantic at all.
No. It does, like I'm very
like there's the shipping aspect of the F4 and being like flower 4 or flowers and being associated with boy love.
Like, yeah, definitely.
Is that purposeful?
I mean, I feel like GMM also thinks about these 4 guys. So typically, like, and this is my 2 cents on the matter. Boys love being marketed to young women is going off of the idea that these guys are handsome and they're sensitive and they have feminine qualities, and that's their biggest audience is women. So there's a high chance that this could be all kind of purposeful, like you're saying, and whatnot. Like this could all be a part of their marketing.
I'm shrugging because I was like, BL, that's weird. Like, or not weird, but like it feels purposeful. Like this is like if you wanted to create an OU where it was all just Bright Win, or it was MJ and Ren, or it was MJ and Tom, you could, and like this like just
here's all your shipping fuel right here in this music video. Yeah,
because it's like all about them being like this crew. Yeah, I don't know, it was an odd thought I had.
It's interesting. I feel like, you know, I respect how they're doing this show because I think that they're respecting that we love all of them and we would want love for all of them in any way. Like they're kind of like giving fuel to the shippers in a way that's really healthy to me.
Yeah.
Where I don't see that in other
Yeah. No, it's like, are you shipping the wrong thing? Well, you should be ashamed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They're not trying to make us feel bad about any like thing that we feel for these characters. They're allowing
Yeah.
us to feel about them however we want to feel, and they're doing that by just allowing the characters to sort of speak for themselves and sort of express their love for the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can just interpret that however we would want to. Like, that's cool. I like that. But yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. My brain is like, well, that's a weird connection.
Yeah, it is a weird connection. I love it. I want MJ to find love it however he can.
MJ
My
and
goodness.
Hana forever.
MJ and Hana forever. Yay.
Yeah.
He said she was sexy and cute.
Yes. Check 1, check 2.
Exactly.
All right. On to Silhouettes.
Onto Silhouettes. This music video is so beautiful. And I know we have a lot to say about it. So.
I was shocked.
Oh my God. It was everything. You know what's really weird though? Like, this music video had not only the symbolism from the show, it had the symbolism from all the previous music videos.
Yes. Yeah, it did. It was a really nice way to end off.
Yeah.
Both the music video kind of show and also our F4 Obsessed OST Deep Dives. See what I did there?
Oh, it's over. That makes me so sad.
Don't be sad.
I'm like, during the day, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this to be done. That way I don't have to like do all this work anymore. And then when I get around to actually doing it, I'm like, I'm so sad. It's going to be over. This is so sad.
It'll be nice to have a nice rest. Because I don't think that it's ever going to be over for us as far as our enjoyment of this show.
I agree. I have a lot of things planned. All right, let's get into Silhouette. When did we first hear the song? Oh, this is so
It was 12.
good. It was 12. It was 12? Wait.
It was 12.
I thought it was 13. It was 12.
I'm pretty sure it was 12.
When was it?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
Last week was 14.
Right? And the previous
and it was
one
March 12th. So it was 12.
Wait. But the episode that had his story and his backstory, that was 13.
Yeah,
right?
I think we heard it at the end of 12.
Okay.
Like when he has that moment with Hanning in the car.
I believe
that happened
before
13.
Yeah. I like sort of remember that happening. So yeah. I know, because it was funny when it showed up as and that totally makes sense why they would have done that, because in 13, where it was like it framed the entire episode.
Oh yeah, it was everywhere in that episode.
Because they did it, the opening was Silhouette.
Yeah.
The intro was Silhouette. And I actually was freaking out. I remember I was playing it and I was like, what? We're gonna get the whole thing. Because like they wouldn't have done that unless we were getting the whole thing. Like
the whole thing, that episode. Yeah.
That
was 13 was Gowin's episode.
Yes, it was Gowin's episode. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Such a good song. All right, let's dig into the lyrics.
Oh my God. If depression could write a song.
And we thought Ren was like depressing. Gowin's worse. For sure.
Yep.
Like sunlight in the morning or when the sun fades away. He's like everything is bad.
Everything is bad. Yeah.
Although it's not bright, I close my eyes and my heart to hide in the dark.
Yeah.
I may not be deserving of love. Afraid I may hurt someone. Love is only a dark shadow in my heart, not ready yet for a new start, and to love someone. Is that what that says there? It might be different, but
not ready for a new start and
to love someone. Right.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. Not ready to love someone. Like a lost little soul, I've been hurt before, scared to let someone in. The answer is at the horizon where the light shines through. And that's important for the visuals too.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's not bright, it close my eyes to my heart, to hide in the dark.
And then it's repeated.
Again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it changes. I hope that light will shine and chase the shadow away, so I can find a brand new day and where I can love again. And that's really important because that completely changes at the song, like in the music video too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Because he's saying it's, dark, shine. All these things are like, these are really, really, really simple symbols. But the way that they're showing in the music video is actually providing so many more layers to dissect. All right, let's get into it.
Oh God, let's talk about this room.
Yes, let's talk about this room. It's so cool. Oh, and I was thinking about something kind of off the cuff. What's the room where it looks like there's like somebody going downstairs, but then you also have somebody going upstairs, and you have somebody going diagonal.
I mean, it's a Penrose staircase, or MC Escher.
Yes, Escher. That's what I was thinking of. MC Escher. Because the way that the pools are in the room, and this is a square room.
Yeah.
It's like these things are unnatural. Like this shouldn't be the way that it is. And it makes you feel like up is down and down is up, and you can't find your way in here, essentially.
And I wrote down, like, this is like a controlled version of reality, but it's dead and made up.
Yep, absolutely.
So, because like it's fake, like it's like, oh, these are like made pools, and this is laid like sand, and these are placed dead reeds along the wall to look like a real place, but it's not. This rock is brought in from another place that looks like there's like a rock garden or something in the background, but it's all just like window dressing or like made up.
It's like synthetic.
Synthetic. That's a great way to say that.
I like everything he needs to grow is in this room. He has the soil on the ground, like the dirt. He's got the water and the little pools there. He's got the light shining through this tiny little porthole. But everything is in this small amount.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit. It's just like enough to grow him. That's kind of represented in that like hydrangea that's also there.
In the sunlight, in the porthole view. And he's trying to paint the hydrangea.
Yeah, I liked your notes about this.
First, I wanted to talk about the porthole and how it shows more of the stars, and it looks like he's in space when it's nighttime.
Yes.
And like floating, and then there's like the shooting stars or comets like going through that space. Yeah. But it ends up looking like there's more night than day, because when it shifts to day, it's like this sunny thing, but it looks like he's floating like in the clouds. So he's still like this celestial that's like up somewhere. But the daylight seems to pass very quickly.
It's like, because he's a creature of the night, right? He goes to the bars and he finds a girl and he sleeps with them, and he gets up the next morning really late, probably late in the day, and then he does the same thing over again. So the night is where he shines the most, and the daylight he's just sort of tumbling through the sky.
So typically when you have something like a stained glass or glass that you're painting on symbolically, you're trying to envision something overlaying your soul. So it's like your soul trying to speak. Like that's cool. The symbolism of what's happening. And he's trying to paint this hydrangea that keeps on dying before he's able to finish it.
I love that.
And like he's trying to make it real or hang on to it by painting it and making it more substantial, but he's like not doing any of the right things. He's like trying to capture the hydrangea, but not actually taking care of the hydrangea.
Yeah. He's not actually watering it. He's just trying to capture it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then there's also like the huge feeling of getting trapped and like, yeah, like being trapped in this space and like being stuck.
Yeah, there's also this really cool symbol on his shirt, the white t-shirt that he wears, because he's got like 2 outfits in this one. But
yeah, it's like the sparkly Prada outfit, I think, because he's got the
maybe
Prada
he's got 3.
bolo.
He's got 3 outfits. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the the sparkly bolo thing. He's got the gray suit. He's got the tan suit.
Mm-hmm.
And the tan suit and the gray suit, underneath he has a white t-shirt with a small circle over his like kind of sternum, and there's like an upside down moon. I mean, it's like, because a moon can't technically be upside down, I guess, right? But the moon horns, like they're typically referred to horns, like when it's a crescent.
Yeah.
They're pointing down. And crescent, like typically like the, horns, monsters, whatever. But if they're pointing down, it's typically unnatural, and there's like a discord sort of type of thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to be in space in order to see the moon in this way, or it's a solar eclipse, and what you're seeing is the sun behind the moon, right? The sunlight shining behind the moon, which we know, we've talked a little bit about this kind of stuff before in the show, like eclipses and and what they mean, especially with what we know as our moon and what we know as our sun, and the feminine aspects versus the solar aspects. The solar tends to be the masculine and the moon tends to be the feminine. But also, if this was just, let's just say it's the horns on the moon facing down,
mm-hmm.
that alone is a feminine symbolism, symbol, because typically any kind of symbol where 2 kind of horn things are facing up, that's like pointing, it's pointing up, right? It's pointing to the sky, to the heavens, and things that are pointing down are receptacles of things. So it tends to be more of a feminine symbol and more ancient symbolism, as it is. So either way,
it's an interesting symbol.
There are many things it can mean. It's not one thing. It doesn't have just one thing, because it's not a naturally occurring symbol. Like, it doesn't occur in our sky. So it has a lot of things. But the main thing I think that we can take away from it is that it's a feminine moon symbol. Mm-hmm. And it's in his heart.
Yeah, it's like right over his chest, and
yeah, exactly.
Something he's missing. Yeah.
And something that he remembers, right? Because he has kept this with him. He never forgot about his first love.
I mean, the Prada triangle too, and how it's shaped is
it's very similar,
too.
Right?
Yeah.
Triangles that face that way are feminine, and like there's a lot of things going on with him to show that. And the fact that he's like a charmer, a romancer, a kitsune, a seducer, like he understands the feminine, but he manipulates it and he takes advantage of it, and he doesn't, like, he manipulates it, so or manipulates through it. So
what's really cool, and you'll be able to see it like better in later in the music video, is like at certain points during the day you can actually see the hydrangea reflected on his white outfit, really? Whereas in the nighttime you can't, like the hydrangea that he's painting
through the clear
but then
canvas.
Later on in the video he's like in his depression mode and you cannot see it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's deep. And then we get this like death of hydrangea, which Like it's very sad because the hydrangea starts to like wilt, and did they do time lapse? Did they burn it with a heat gun? Like,
I thought the heat gun too. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought
it
that
kind of
too.
looks like they did that, but also time lapsed it because it probably took some time. But they got a real hydrangea and they burned the hell out of it until it started to wilt away and like fly away too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. That was such beautiful imagery. I also love the fact that in some of these shots that are on the screen now, there's this tumbling of the camera. So the camera starts to tilt in a way that makes the whole room feel like it's
Yeah.
spinning.
He's off kilter. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just another, like, because we mentioned it before, like it's another way to show that he's kind of tumbling through space, and he's the room that he's in is just kind of floating out there because he's unwilling to go to the ground. He's unwilling to, plant himself essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because that's what
Exactly.
he does at the end. But yeah,
Yeah,
also,
but I mean, this is the lowest part of the video too. Like
mm,
he's literally depressed. He's frustrated. He throws his paintbrush. He watches the hydrangea die multiple times.
the
He
lighting here too is what you're talking about before, right?
Yeah, with the
Mhm.
red and the purple, you can't see the hydrangea, and it's like his lowest point.
Yeah, yeah. I love that so much. He also, I kind of was thinking about the clear canvas in terms of infinite possibilities. Like he could have drawn
Mhm.
anything, but he wanted to draw himself.
Yeah,
He wanted to imagine
the
his
better him.
own,
Yeah.
right, better him. Yeah, exactly, his own potentiality. Oh, also, um water, I meant to mention this earlier. Water is also like a very feminine
Mhm.
symbol, and the fact that he takes his paintbrush and he dips it in the water in the beginning to rinse it
Yeah,
off.
it's very sexual.
It is very sexual. It's sexual. It's also like, it's like he's being helped. Like
Yeah.
it's a like thank you kind of thing. I don't know. It just feels, it has a really intense feeling for me when he
Mhm.
kind of rinses that paintbrush in such a sensual way in the water. It's like he respects, in a way, all of these women that he's been with. And we talked about this in the show. We talked about it in our regular show about how
Mhm.
he gets this emotional gratification from being with women, right? Because
Mhm.
of course, because he would have to, like, why else would he be doing that? Why else would he be living that sort of life? um
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's used as a way for him to feel connected without having to connect,
right.
right? Yeah.
And so, like, the washing off of the paint to help him
Yeah.
be able to dip his paintbrush in a new color,
Mhm.
it's kind of there.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Yep. And
uh
then he's standing in front of, it looks like the window has actually gotten bigger,
I didn't notice that, but I think you're right. Yeah, it does look
and
like it's got
the
bigger.
room like starts to shake, and
Yep.
he's standing there. I'm
Yep.
not going to describe. We've gone through this too much with nighttime. It's the same face. Um
It's
but
actual sexual gratification and like emotional gratification at the same time, right? It's like it's romantic gratification happening all at once. It's like, oh
yeah.
my god, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been searching
Yeah.
for. I have to like see this through in a
Yeah.
way.
And then the hydrangea starts to grow again. He waters the hydrangea. He talks to the hydrangea, i.e., he has a talk with himself,
Yeah,
right?
I wrote that down too. Yeah.
He makes sure that he is taken care of, and
Yeah.
then he leaves to a mountain.
What do you have in terms of mountain symbolism?
Well, mountains are like uh challenges,
Mm-hmm.
right? To like
Oh,
the
so
next challenge,
it's not
but
over.
it's also escape and freedom.
Oh, this is so interesting because a lot of people are talking about, this is clearly about like Gawin and Henning's story, but he and Henning, like in every version, like these characters are not done. Like this is only the beginning of their story. They don't get a happy ending in the manga, and any version that they are insinuated as being together, they still clearly have a lot to go through. Like it's not like happy ending.
It's the start of their story. Like literally this is like, oh no, I have to climb this mountain now.
Yeah.
That to me is what it's saying.
I love that. I think that's exactly what it is.
But he finds a hydrangea out in the wild, which means, oh, I can survive out here too.
Yeah. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also love that he jumps out of his little spaceship thing before he crashes. Like, yeah, because it's clearly tumbling, but it's not clear. Like, it's basically saying, like, this could be the end of you if you stay in here. Like, or you're going to become a monster for all of eternity if you stay in here. You're going to be done for. And he decides to leave for that second chance before he completely crashes. So,
yeah. And I did try to figure out where these mountains were from. And I couldn't. But I was like, oh, thank you for giving my fan fiction F4 Canada some like visuals.
Oh, that's cute. I love it.
The Rockies are bigger, but yeah.
That's funny.
As far as I can tell, they may, like, Google thought they might be in India.
I mean, that would make sense. That's close. That's sort of close. It's in that part of the world.
I reverse image search the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the way to do it.
They were like, maybe this? I don't know.
I mean, it's also like it's kind of coated in this like bluish, purplish color. So
yeah,
it's very symbolic. But I don't know, man. I think it's interesting that Gawin's OST is all about him.
Yeah.
Like it's totally just about himself. And the show does not show that. The show does not give that internal.
But they use the OST to speak his internalized emotions in the scenes that they use it in, right? So like it's fully played during the Hanning and Gawin scenes where he's resolving everything.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, it's okay that this room is literally inside of his subconscious.
I love it. I love it that we get those glimpses in the show where like he says to Hanning, I didn't go there because of Mona.
Yeah.
And he doesn't finish the sentence, but that's literally that scene from the show is this music video. Like I did not make that choice because of my past. I made that choice because of what could become in my future.
Yeah.
And literally like there you go. That's the music video. It's so interesting how they're doing this. But it's a good one. I like this one a lot. I love the room. It's very much an aesthetic. That's really cool.
Yeah. They went in so many different directions with all of these.
They did. Yeah. You can't say that they're all like they're not reusing things in a certain way. Like I said in the beginning that this music video tends to pull from other symbolism and other music videos. But I meant things like the porthole from like Nighttime or like the flower symbolism that we got in Who Am I? Or like you can kind of it's all thematic, and like the shooting stars from Shooting Star, like they're pulling things from and from all these areas to kind of pull them together at the very end and say, hey, like what you're seeing is what we wanted you to see.
Yeah. And I really liked that this one was a very symbolic wrap up, considering how symbolic we started with Who Am I?
Exactly.
Yeah.
exactly. It's very much in the same kind of vein. But again, it takes from others, and it's just so satisfying to see it all kind of come full circle. So
it really is.
yeah. So good. So good. All right. Any final thoughts?
I mean, just what we've been saying this whole time with these music videos, that these are also part of the show.
Yeah.
And they help support the show and give a better understanding to the characters, especially Who Am I. Like, we discovered stuff when we dug into Who Am I halfway through the season. We're like, oh,
exactly.
because like we're like, this is a really good and like symbolic video, but we didn't like spend the time to look at it with the detail that it really deserved. And this has been a lot of fun to add this into all of the different aspects of this show.
Yeah,
that
definitely
really did deserve an F4 obsessed deep dive.
Yep, definitely. Yep. Yeah, this was really fun. I'm really glad we did it. It took up a lot of time, but we did it. We made it through. I wish 2 would have gotten one, but that's not normal for this franchise, so I understand. But she basically got one with the One Last Cry. That was her song.
That was her song, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching this. Please let us know in the comments what you thought. Like, what was your favorite OST? What was the one that you liked seeing the visuals the most, or did you relate to the lyrics, or how did you feel when you first watched it? We would love to know. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, share, interact with the video however you can, and follow us on Twitter. We are so close to the end of this journey, and it's freaky and it's going to be awesome, but we have some more things planned. So please stay tuned and follow us for the rest of this. Right.
Cheers.
Cheers.